Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our nation has to offer, especially healthcare. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi!
Okay, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
James Golden Sterling with you here. All right, time for Mr. Bond. Folks, his real name is not Bond. He and I met sailing the beautiful seas of the Adriatic Sea on a cruise. I saw him. We shared a dinner table, and he arrived in a tuxedo that was so exquisitely tailored, and everything was so finely coiffed. I said, my gosh, you look like James Bond, mate. And I said, I seriously, I came home talking, I said, man, you got to see this guy. This guy I saw on the cruise, man. This guy wore a tuxedo. I never seen nobody look as sharp as in a tuxedo as this guy did. He looked like James Bond. And so I've been calling him Mr. Bond. In reality, his name is Tom Lemming. He is the Chief Investment Officer of Normandy Investment Advisors. He's had over 36 years of investment experience. And before that was an engineer. What a brain for over 10 years. Tom, Mr. Bond, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm very good, James. Thank you. And you're too kind. Way too kind.
Well, yes, I'm told that once in a while, but not by many. We had a call on the Saturday show, and you've heard the call. He wanted to know what could explain the high prices of gold. I said, what a great opportunity. I told him Saturday, we're going to have Mr. Bond, Tom Lemming, on the show, and he will explain because he's a financial expert. And he and I, and Tom, you and I have also talked about we are going to have you on the Saturday show because you and I have been talking about the 4 seasons of financial health. People go through different things, and we're going to keep revisiting these topics, what people should do at different stages in their lives with finance and so forth. But let's get to his question, which was what explains what's happening with gold right now, and I guess by extension, precious metals and their prices.
Yeah, James, I'd focus on 3 things. One is just basic econ 101 that a lot of your listeners probably had in college, supply and demand curves. You'd see those drawn. Supply has not been that interesting, but demand has definitely gone up from central banks around the world. Interestingly, Poland now owns more gold. Its central bank owns more gold than the European Central Bank. And Poland was the biggest buyer of gold last year among banks. And Princess Di on your show on Saturday mentioned some of that. China's been a big buyer, Brazil, India, and a few other central banks. That's part of it, but that doesn't explain all of it in my mind. Some of it, and this is probably the most important part, is just speculation. Gold has gone asymptotic, and so have other commodities, and we'll talk about why that's the case, why everything at once. But the thing that you always notice with bubbles, whether it's internet stocks in the late 90s or housing in the 04, 05 time period, or even AI stocks today, the higher the price goes, the better the story gets as to why you need to continue to own this or buy more. And it creates that fear of missing out, FOMO. And so that's part of it, speculation. And then finally, the third one I would say is the yardstick by which we measure gold keeps shrinking. So that's the dollar. Gold is priced around the world most transactions are in dollars. It's because the dollar is the world's reserve currency. And if you keep shrinking the value of the dollar through inflation, then you're going to get gold at higher prices. I liken that to if you measure the dimensions of the room you're in, and if I lay a yardstick down 5 times in this direction and 5 times in the other, I'm in a 5 by 5 yard room. But if one of my kids cuts 6 inches off that yardstick, and a month later, I can't remember, I'm going to measure my room again, and I lay it down, I'd lay that yardstick down 6 times now. Now, my room didn't get bigger, and gold is not any better than it was. Same conductivity, same number of protons in the atom, same color. But the way in which we're measuring the value of it has diminished. And so that's why you see everything up. Precious metals, uranium, even stocks have been driven higher, and housing prices. So they're all related. And in that case, it's related to a weaker dollar. So.
All right. Let me ask you one general question for today. You said we would get back and talk about you were going to cover something, but let me just ask you this: where do you, in broad strokes, not specifics, are you optimistic, pessimistic, neutral about where the American economy is headed?
I'm optimistic in terms of the policies, in terms of lesser regulation. All of those things are very positive, but Donald Trump came into office with stocks up a lot. It does remind me, certainly for the internet-related, or in this case now the AI-related parts of the market, very expensive, just like the late 90s. And so by the time 2000 rolled around, we were clearly in a bubble. And by 2009, stock prices were even lower than they were in 2000. I am worried about that we're going to need all these positive policies to try to grow out of the high prices. There's only been 2 periods of time where price earnings multiples are higher than today, and that's 1929 and 2000. So that's not good company. So we'll need these good policies to grow our way out of it. So there's places where an investor can go, just like in 2000, but I worry about the broader indices, whether it's like the S&P 500, and I worry about gold. When things go asymptotic, it's time to start asking some pretty hard questions.
Great advice. Okay, we've got that. I'm going to ask you to come back with us on the Saturday program. Within a very few, days, weeks, we will start talking about what, especially young people, I want to get started with them. What do young people do that are just starting out now to secure their future? So if you don't mind, that will be the first thing that we talk about. Then there was a brilliant article in the Wall Street Journal. And this article, it says that you are over 65, congratulations, you own the economy. The premise of that is that the elderly are physically and financially healthier than ever. So why do their needs keep taking priority over younger generations? But it's a lengthy article that talks about how the elderly grew wealth. So we're going to cover all that stuff, Tom.
Yeah, I'd love to do that, James.
Okay. Everybody, that is Mr. Bond. Tom Lamming is his name, Chief Investment Officer of Normandy Investment Advisors. He's a seasoned investment advisor, as you can hear when he talks about the past and how things have shaped out in previous decades and previous bubbles. So I'm looking forward to you getting to know Tom very well, especially on our Saturday program. Thanks again, Tom, for joining us.
Thank you, James. Looking forward to it.
Thank you. James Golden, Snerdley here with you. Let's go to the break now so we can do that, and have some time on the other side. We're going to check in, if we have time, we're going to check in with Latina. James Golden. Fastest hour in American media continues.
Rush.
This is The Rush Hour with James Golden.
Both Snerdley.
Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our nation has to offer, especially healthcare. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.